In this module, let's talk about parasite exchanges, chameleon exchanges, and programmatic money laundering in depth. Now, what are chameleon shops? Chameleon shops are nested entities. To explain that, sometimes there is a crypto exchange which has been opened, there is a back-end infrastructure, and there is a front-end infrastructure which are connected. Front-end is your website, is your KYC details, etc. Back-end infrastructure is your blockchain data, wallets, hot wallets, etc. Sometimes what happens is that just as how a chameleon changes its color depending on its environment, what a crypto exchange can do is they can build more front ends with the same back-end infrastructure. For example, in the case study that I'm showing you right now, ChangeNow and SimpleSwap are two exchanges with two front ends, but they share a common back-end infrastructure. On one of the front-end infrastructure, they are completely regulated. They perform KYC, they perform know your customer, know your transaction, they perform all kinds of regulations, they are well regulated, etc. Whereas the other front end might not do any of this. So the other front end performs money laundering, performs dark web transactions and whatnot. But when I look at the back-end infrastructure of the blockchain wallet activity, it is linked to the regulated activity of the front end of the regulated one. Whereas the other one is completely like a chameleon exchange. They are settling all the transactions, all the illegal transactions on the regulated entity. So chameleon exchanges are very tough to identify. Chameleon exchanges try to hide behind those systematic exchanges. In another way, we have in this case study, we have CoinDrop, Xcenter, Catbit and P2P Garant. 5 different exchanges, all Russian, sharing the same backend infrastructure. Now coming to the next type of entity called parasite exchange. Parasite exchanges are very similar, that they open an account on a regulated exchange such as say Binance, etc. and they use the backend infrastructure of this regulated exchange. Here, they open another website, another front end on their own where they perform all kinds of illegal, illicit activities. At the end of the day, the settling of these transactions happen on the regulated exchange because they have opened an account on that. The backend infrastructure of Binance, the blockchain wallet address, etc. are used by this middleman. So when a regulator or a law enforcement agency looks at the backend infrastructure, they think that all these illegal activities are happening on the regulated exchange, whereas they're actually happening on one of the accounts opened on these regulated exchange. And that becomes a big issue. It's a nested entity which is doing all the illegal activity, and this is extremely common. These are known as shell WASP. A WASP is virtual asset service provider. So just like how we have shell companies or fake companies, shell exchanges or shell WASPs are fake exchanges who are middlemen between the illicit finance and the actual exchanges, and these are increasing a lot day by day. So a parasite exchange and a chameleon exchange are these middlemen where they use the regulated backend infrastructure and perform illegal activity without the law enforcement agency even knowing about it. Now to talk about programmatic money laundering, in programmatic money laundering what happens is that you write your own program, script, code to perform hundreds of transactions over hundreds of addresses, and you convert your black money into white money, which is also very, very dangerous. In the next module, let's talk about private keys, public keys, crypto hash functions to ensure how do we keep these kind of illegal activities from happening.